All right, we have another box here from Tokyo Model Detective. I ordered some stuff and decided to open the box on video like the Star Destroyer. Let's see what's in here. Okay, this should be a bunch of kind of random kits, to be honest. Uh-oh, there's an invoice. Pull that out real quick so no one sees it. First off, we have the Luke Skywalker Stormtrooper version. And I want to see what the face on that guy looks like, because it ought to be interesting. It's one of Bandai's pre-molded, kind of colored faces. So we'll take a look inside this box in a minute. We have the Super Star Destroyer set. I got two of these so I can build one up and play with it. Now, the Super Star Destroyer by itself does not have the sticker, but when you get the two together, you have the sticker. I've now got like 5 of these little Star Destroyers, so I think I'm just going to build a couple of them and see what I can do with them quickly for fun. I got 2 of these. And I got Yoda. Now, the box did come damaged. That's not really Darren's fault. That's the post office fault, because Darren usually packs his things fairly well. But the insides weren't even damaged. So I got Yoda. I've seen a couple of builds of this, and I was afraid it wouldn't look any good. But the builds all actually looked pretty good on it. The face on Yoda there is going to need some work, because he's not going to look good without some work. You got 2 Yodas. Is this 2 Yodas? It is 2 Yodas. Look at that. I get 2 of them. 1 6 scale and 1 12 scale. That's fun. Okay, that's cool. There's 2 Yodas in the box. I didn't even know that. Oh, we get hair for Yoda. Look at the hair. We get some eyes over here. Okay, and face for the little one. So we get a little one and a big one. And we get a couple of different faces on the big one and some backs. Some feet. A lightsaber. The clothes. Oh, the clothes are rubber. That's what I wanted to know. I know this is an older kit. I just never got it. A couple of bases. Okay. So over in here we have more clothes. We got small clothes and big clothes. These are not rubber. There are stickers, and it looks like we got stickers and water slides, which is good. We have the directions. Now, having 2 Yodas is fun because I can play around, and if I screw one up, I can fix it. We have 2 sets of eyes for the 1/6. Okay. And this is going to be your typical figure build. It's going to be just like a Gundam build, probably simpler, to be honest. The Star Wars figures tend to go together a little bit quicker and easier than some of the Gundams. I'm talking to you, F91, with your crazy detailed parts. I mean, if I open the back of this guy, all the fins open. This guy was a little crazy to build. Actually, looks pretty good done without any weathering. I need to finish him. Anyhow, just taking a look at the directions, it looks like it's a pretty straightforward kit. What I don't like about some of the Bandai figures is the gappage in here. That would require some sculpting with like a epoxy sculpt or some other type of material to get to look right. So some of these Bandai figures just aren't going to look right in the arms because they have jointed arms. But that is what it is. And it looks like he comes with something of an action base over here. So you'll be able to pose him a little bit better. And he comes with a cane or a lightsaber. All right, so there's a quick look at the Yoda box. I didn't realize I was getting 2 Yodas for the price of 1. That's actually kind of cool. Put that aside. There's thousands of videos of this out there already. A couple of more people are actually building them already. Oops, wrong direction. Get a picture of a fat belly right there. The first thing I notice is, again, if you buy the Super Star Destroyer by itself, you don't get this. It's printed on the side of the box over here. You don't have the directions inside the lid. That's kind of rare for these small kits. So you actually get real directions with it. You get clear stands, you get 2 of them. It looks like the Star Destroyer is on a separate set of sprue than the Super Star Destroyer. They're not the same scale. It doesn't even say the scale on here. It should. Yeah, the Super Star Destroyer is 100,000 scale, and the Star Destroyer is 14,500 scale. So they're not the same scale. It wouldn't be. Now, if you take a look, I'm going to get in here close on the camera, and it's not going to like it because there's plastic and some bright lights by it. But there is some pretty fine little detail on that, you know. Other models don't have this kind of detail that Bandai's getting into these kits somehow, which is really strange. Usually when I see this kind of detail, it's resin, not styrene. I mean, Bandai's doing a great job. This thing builds a little wonky from what I've seen. Star Destroyer, at this point, most of you have already seen one of these. Okay, if you've been watching the other videos on the Revel one, this is not as detailed as Revel's hangar base, but it's pretty close, considering how much smaller it is. I know there's a clear version of this thing would make it great for lighting. This little guy, it's possible to light him, but you're going to go a little nuts doing it, because it's so tiny and you have to drill such tiny holes. It'd be better to get a clear version and just tap the painted version of the clear with a needle so light comes through. That's the only way I can think of really lighting this thing. It's too tiny. Speaking of lighting, I don't think it's going to be possible to light this one. Someone's going to figure it out. And it would almost have to be clear, because the engines back here, while they can be done, and you can tell they use some pins in there to make the engines hollow. There are small enough LEDs to fit in there, but where you're going to run the wiring for them, from what I saw of how this builds, there's no real room for the wiring in there. Try to run fiber optics, it's going to kill you. I don't see a way to run fibers in here. There's literally no room inside this model kit once it's built as well, so it'd be almost impossible to light it. You would need a larger ship to light that one properly. Maybe Bandai will listen to some of us and get some larger scale. I mean, they don't have to be ginormous. I know there's some debates right now. Bandai Star Destroyer, the new one they released, or get this I'm going to say it wrong. Someone put it in there so I can pronounce it right. When I read it, I get it right. Unprepared me didn't go and get that and read it. But anyhow, there's been some debate saying, I'd rather have the big one, I'd rather have the small one. It's personal preference. The Bandai kit has more detail, but the other one's going to be easier to light. It's bigger, it'll be more impressive when you see it. You got some room in the house, get the big one. Don't have any room, get the small one. Live in a tiny place, get the really tiny one. That's not advice for life, that's just me commenting. So you get the one you want. That is the important part. Okay? Now we get to Luke Skywalker. I do have Han Solo around here somewhere. I'm not going to go dig him out because these are the bottom of a pile of unbuilt kits. And yes, my stash is overwhelming the house. Box is a little damaged, but this is an older kit. It might have sat on a shelf somewhere for a while. Don't know, don't care. I just wanted both of them so I can put them side by side. This is something I should build soon. Now when we open that up, first thing I wanted to look at is that face. It is pre-painted. I got it upside down. Let's get it right side up. It is pre-painted. My camera can handle the zoom like this, pretty much on the fly. It's got some good coloration to it. It may not be painted. Okay, you got your typical Star Wars base. I built a Star Trooper and I built Captain Phasma. Both of them, it looks like this is about the same kind of build. Over here we have some hair. Okay, I don't know how good that hair is going to look without building it. It's going to need some coloration or something. I don't think Luke had that color hair. That looks more like Han Solo hair. Is this Han Solo? No, it's Luke. See, that looks like Luke right there. The hair's too dark. I'm going to have to lighten it up somehow. Okay, maybe some light sand on the top and leave the darker color underneath. There's a way to do that. And this looks like the normal Stormtrooper kit. Nice, shiny. That means that's pre-painted or pre-coated, which means you want to be careful when you nip it, and you don't want to paint this because painting would be too much work. Honestly, you're going to get not quite as good a finish painting it. I'm sure some people can get a better finish, but from my eye right here, I probably wouldn't. I'd probably leave it alone. Okay? The Han Solo kit's going to look pretty close to the same. These are things I can do quickly and easily. Okay? Unlike finishing this big guy off, lack of detail, needs to be painted. He's been falling off desktops and counters and shelves for 2 or 3 years now. He needs a good paint job. That's what he needs. Okay? He needs his joints put together with some paint. With some glue. I didn't put them together because I planned on painting him. I planned on making a diorama out of him. He's big. He's 148 scale, one of the jumbo grades. But he lacks a lot of detail in that size. Okay? Whereas this guy in see, he's falling again. This guy in 1/100 scale, it's got an awful lot of detail in it. There is a lighting kit for the back of him. There's no paint on this. This is what it comes out of the box built like. Very, very nice kit, this one. It's the F91 kit. Okay? Very nice kit. Weapons come out really nice, too, which I wasn't used to with some of the Gundam kits. The newer ones are just getting great. Alright, well, there's a quick look at what I got from Tokyo Model Detective. A quick rant about a few Gundam kits because, well, I have fun building those. I have very little time in my life right now. So I tend to want to build things that don't require a lot of time. That Star Destroyer from Revel is a good example. That video will come up after this one. This one's coming up tonight because I got the box tonight. But that one will come up later. And you will see, I've spent about 2 hours building it and it's almost done. And it looks pretty good. Here's a preview. There would be a preview, but I lost it. There it is. Here's a preview. Okay? This is the Revel Star Destroyer. I decided to go ahead and build it. And again, it's looking pretty good. Without a whole lot of work. There's no seam filling, no lighting, no real attempt to correct any of the mistakes on it. I just glued it together and started panel lining. Alright, hope you enjoyed. I will talk to you all later.